Hello, chat. How are we doing today? Hi. I see Maple got first. Good job, Maple. Good job. It is a Tuesday. We're playing The Roottrees Are Dead, continuing off with this lovely puzzle time that we're having. My immediate thought for what we're doing when we get back into it is I'm going to, take at least maybe an hour or something to organize our notes. I'm gonna be so real. It's gonna be boring to watch. However, I don't want to do that off camera, because, what if I come across conclusions and stuff, Hey, I gotta write these notes in a good way. I've been pasting a lot of them in a not good way. But I think I can do it in a good way. At the very least, I can organize them by, character, by, group or generation, something like that. That's my thought. That's my thought at the very least. And we might find some new stuff while we're doing that. I'd be like, ooh, why did I never look up this? I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to get back into it. God, this game has been so fun so far. I'm enjoying it a lot. Good job on that second, Mercury Love. Nice. I got my big old list of birthdays pulled up. I'm not gonna read off it just yet. I want to wait for the top of stream ads to be fully over. I will say though, I tried to look up Sailor Moon's birthday, because I was like, I'm gonna put the Sailor Moon characters on
Gender fluid.
Gender fluid, indeed. But, I could not fucking find it. Now, granted, I didn't look too hard, because I've been busy today. But I had, a moment of, oh, let me do that, and then, it wasn't immediately apparent, and I couldn't find it within, 5 minutes. And I was like, wow, I'm giving up forever. I'm like, surely she has to have a birthday. I feel like anime characters especially always have birthdays. I don't know why. I don't know why that's a thing, but it's like Sailor Moon has been a thing for a long time. I feel like if you have a thing that's been a thing for a long time, the characters get birthdays, I feel like that's a thing that happens. But let's see here. Because I remember I looked up, I think on Anime Characters database they had it on there. But if I looked up Sailor Moon, because they have the characters listed weirdly on here. What's her birthday? There we go. I knew she would have one. But there we go, because I was looking at the fandom wiki, and they had her listed. See, this is the thing, fandom wikis are bad. They don't always have the stuff you want. I love normal wikis so much better. But it was, they didn't have her, alter ego listed under her Japanese name. They had it as, the 4Kids English translation of her name. And I was like, well, I know her name is Usagi in the original, but what's her last name? I don't know. It's not listed. I wasn't sure, And it's like, okay, there we go. Anime Characters Database has her birthday, and I'm gonna take their word for it. And I'll go ahead and look around for those other ones, because I'm like, I don't know what the sailors are. I don't know their names. I mean, I could take a guess, because I know that they're planets, so I think I got potentially 8 or 9, depending on what all was happening there. Free from the ads, welcome. Hello. I'm talking about how inaccessible Sailor Moon information is on the Sailor Moon fandom wiki. As a person who's never fucking seen it. I've seen one episode of Sailor Moon, and that was with, I've mentioned before, me and Lee will do one episode of whatever. There are more than 9. Yeah, I figured, but I'm thinking core characters. I don't know, I feel like there's probably gonna be a lot of Sailor Scouts. It's I have I just have the main group of magical girls for Madoka Magica on here. Granted, that's probably biased as well than with me only having seen for Madoka Magica, I've only seen Bella Magi Madoka Magica. I haven't seen any of the movies, or I know that there's a lot of other stuff, but I just know the base stuff. Recommend it. Watch the old bad dub back when you were in kindergarten. You turned out great. Oh boy. I've been getting into magical girl stuff lately because I have magical girl OCs that I wanted to develop further. So it's like I need to do research, and now I'm deep in the Precure mines. You've seen more men dressed as Sailor Moon than you have seen Sailor Moon, and you plan on keeping it that way, either by not watching Sailor Moon or watching more men in Tight Sailor Moon cosplay. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That was like a big trend, I think, for a while there. I've forgotten about that. Man. Oh boy. Da 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 da. Yes. Okay, I'll just keep that Sailor Moon tab open so I can remember it, I suppose. But today, oh my gosh, chat, we don't have one for tomorrow yet. We really don't. These are the days that we don't have, and we don't have one for tomorrow. We have every other day of the year. Ah! Especially if you were also Freddie Mercury cosplayer. Whoa. That's who Sailor Mercury is, I assume. I would have to guess that's who Sailor Mercury is. I'm like, which ones are the lesbians? I think Uranus is one of them. Who's the other one? Who's her girlfriend / English dub cousin? I don't love that they did that, but I love that they did that, you know? Neptune? Let me see here, who's Neptune? Yeah, I can see that. That's fair. Hello, Lee. Hello. I was about to read off the birthdays. Granted, we only have... No, we have 2 today. We have 2. Let me double check the year that this movie came out, because I think I know it, but... Ah, no, I was a year off. As a kid who watched at the time, they still seemed gay, just also that other thing. Yeah. It's like, it's hard to take these, like, lesbians lesing out and then just be like, so you still have those visuals, and they're like, the audio is like, this is my cousin. That's why we're acting like this. Because we're cousins, and definitely not anything else. You know? It has been fun. The Precure season that I'm watching right now, Kira Precure a la mode, has some incredible Yuri stuff happening between Kier Chocolat and Kier Macaron. Those two are crazy about each other. It's great. It's always really funny because whenever they're the focus of the episode, they just like bwomp. You know? Like, it'll entirely change because they're older than the main cast. The other 3 of the magical girls are all like 12 or 13, and then these 2 are like 17. So it'll like cut over to them, and they're like facing off against like a different minion than the other ones are facing off. Like, the minions are still working for the same bad guy. And then they're just like fucking dying for each other constantly, and it's like, oh my god, girls, like, are y'all okay? Calm down, please. I do appreciate what's happening here, but also, holy shit. They are very normal. Searched on Google to see if you knew any character that has a birthday on the 25th, and Google AI was gaslighting you. Google AI fucking sucks. Fucking Fork Founding Kitchen. I'm not dropping any big news on you. I've been using DuckDuckGo for a while. I don't have it on every device, but I have it on most of them. And even then, it's like, that one has gotten into AI now as well, which is annoying, but I think I remember they released a survey a little bit recently to, like, ask users opinions on it. I don't know if anything has come of that, but I'm able to opt out of it for the most part, and that's pretty great. One good use of it, you'll die on the hill, you know where the setting you're looking for is most of the time. Okay, that's fair enough, I suppose. Look, it's just annoying. It's just annoying. Anyway. If you looking through hours of shader settings. Let me double check. Because there's a song. One of the birthdays today is a song. I'm like, is this the lesbian song or I'm thinking of a different song? I think I'm thinking of a different one. I'm thinking of a different one. Okay. Anyway, today's birthdays we have for media releases Tale of the Deep Sea Lily by N. Buna featuring Hatsune Miku. If that one is also lesbian, then good for it. It's just simply not the song that I immediately thought it was. I got confused. And then the other one for today is Get Out 2017. Hell yeah. Fucking 10 out of 10 movie right there. Really, really good movie. But I would say, I'm just surprised that it was a February movie, you know? I feel like, you know, I've seen horror movies, of course, come out, you know, tend to be in the later half of the year, and also I've seen them in the summer. February just seems odd, but I guess it's not too odd. It's not something I'm used to seeing, I suppose. But I like that. It's not a traditional horror movie. I don't know anything about Minecraft shaders, though. They've never appealed to me. You know? I've never been like, ooh, I want shaders. It's been like, okay, whatever. Okay, thank you, Sans. Oh, I didn't stop Sans. He just did that on his own. Sans just went quiet on his own. I didn't pause him. I was about to. Thank you, I guess. He knew when his job was done. What can I say? He knew when his job was done. You love making builds with abnormal lighting? I do love that kind of thing. I do love going with weird colors and stuff. I don't do it often, but I do enjoy it whenever it happens. You can't fire him, he quits. True. Alright, welcome back over to the video game. We, as I said this during the ads, though, I'm gonna be spending a lot of the beginning of this game organizing my notes. So that's what we're starting off with here. Because I want to... How many pages can I have? Okay, I can have 20. So I'm not gonna worry about it. Well, now they're small forever. Alright. What I'm gonna do here, this is the one that I'm currently on. We're gonna have one for, I suppose, Gen... Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 generations? Is that true? I think having a tab for each of those is going to be pretty good. Gen 1, Gen 2. I feel like I'm talking about My Little Pony right now. The normal response to that would be Pokemon. The normal thing to think of there, but whatever. They're not normal either way. Either way, you're talking about entertainment made for children. Okay. Now we're organizing our notes. Gen 2 is going to be like also known as the five pieces. Okay. I'm gonna keep the names one as it is. I think that this is also a good thing here. I think we don't have to worry about Tommy as much anymore. I think Tommy, you can get rid of those notes. Okay. We can copy this here. This is... No, we don't really need to copy that. This is the order of people in charge of the company. So it's like, once we know who these all people are, we can label them accordingly. You know, once we know them in here. Yes, Carl is the current guy. Ba-ba-bum. We know about 5 pieces. I think I got that the 5 pieces are the children. I don't think I need to worry about that anymore. And I'm sure that other notes are going to reference it. Ba-bum. Okay. Now we have this thing here of Brother Trouble. I don't think I need to keep these Brother Trouble notes necessarily. However, Penelope is going to be on here, it seems. We don't know who Penelope is with, though. Let's go over to the Brother Trouble notes for a second. Over to Penelope. Tessa Green. I mean, do we have any names here? Okay, we don't have Tessa or Green. So that would likely be somebody's... She would probably be somebody's spouse. With the son of son being Jack. And we know of Ron Roottree being a director. I guess we'll just keep a miscellaneous one as well. Ron Roottree, director. Ba-bum. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm gonna be a little quiet as I'm double-checking all my notes here. Sorry for less good commentary here. I think what I can really say here is Penelope Tessa Green is stand-up comedian. Stand-up comedian, mother of Jack. And I think I can get rid of Brother Trouble. Because if I just go back over here, ba-ba-ba. Yeah, that's Rhina. Married to TMS, who was star of Brother Trouble. Just in case I need that information again. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Now, we don't know what Gwyneth's job was. We need to coming back to that. That sentence was not how sentences are supposed to be done, but I did it anyway because I'm a real innovator. Okay. Gen 1 contains Elias Roottree, first president of Roottree Candy. And then also Gwyneth Anderson, I'll say Gwyneth Roottree. Nee Anderson. Or is it Nay? I don't know. I've never heard it said out loud. It's one of those things where you read a lot of it, and then you never know how to say it out loud. These two are married. So we'll just, like, keep them together by doing that. Children. Their children are in order here. Gwendolyn Roottree. Elias Jr. Clancy Edward Roottree. Marguerite Roottree. And Miracle. And two also known as the 5 Pieces. So then it's like, okay, over here. Gwendolyn Roottree, married to James Morden, mother of X and Y, we'll say here. She gave birth to those games. Elias Jr. Roottree, married to X, father of Y. Now, I don't know what's happening here, but we have that. Then Clancy Edward. I forgot to write down that that guy was an architect. I'll come back to it. Lawyer. Married to X. I will say married to A. Father of Lauren Roottree. And then X, Y, and Z, I believe. I know what buttons I'm pressing, and I press them well. Okay, and then we want to put that this guy was an architect. Save note. Then Marguerite Roottree. We don't know her job. Married to X, mother of Y. Miracle Roottree. Preacher. Married to Helen Lennon. Father of Miracle Jr. and X. And then we can add notes about these guys later. I just want to get who they are currently. Let's also write down just like all the children of Elias and... is it Gwyneth? Yes. Gen 3. Ba-bum. Don't know who we have here. Okay, here's one. Da-da-da. Clark Rafferty. Advertising. Son of Lauren Roottree. And X Rafferty. We haven't figured out yet whether his whether his father is Jacob or Chris. Here, we'll write Jacob/Chris. You know what, I did this before, and I was like, I can be a little cheesy. Now I don't want to be cheesy anymore. Well, I like to be cheesy in terms of jokes, and I like to be cheesy in terms of usernames. I can't deny that. You know, when I named myself this... former spouses are X and Y. We'll say first spouse was A, second spouse was B, with which he had his child X. Third spouse was Jane LaRue, with which he had Jessica Rafferty LaRue and Katrina Rafferty LaRue. Okay, then we have here Carl Roottree, 5th president of Roottree Candy. Spouse is Brenda White. Co-owners of Root Clothing Company. Children are, or we'll do father of Rhina, Carly, and Riley Roottree. Save that note. James Roottree. Oh, I do also need to just put, like, real quick, son of X and Y. X and Y really get around. James Roottree. Musician. Son of X and Joan Monroe. Spouse is Diamond LaRue. Children are, or father of X, son of A and B. Son of A, father of X and Y. I think this is a good note moment to make. Diamond, what was her name? Jane. And I believe the other one was Kim. Are the LaRue sisters. And I believe that is the, birth order there. I'm on the wrong fucking notes. I like fully skipped Lauren on all of them. Okay, can I can move them? Hell yeah. Okay, so this is Gen 3. I was fully writing down Gen 4 notes. Well, at least I noticed it, and I'm glad that I can move things around. Otherwise, I was like, okay, time to copy and paste a whole lot. Let's quickly do this, then. Miracle Roottree the Third. Preacher. Son of Miracle Jr. and Edith Jacobson. Spouse is X. Then we will go up again to Gen 3 here, for real this time. Lauren Roottree, author. Daughter of Clancy Edward. And X. Spouse is Y. Mother of Clark Rafferty. I'll also, because I do know that she is one who changed her name. X. Advertising. Son of Clancy Edward. And Y. Spouse is Joan Monroe. Father of James Roottree. Back to James for a second here. Also known as Jim. There we go. Gen 5. Our last bits here. Jessica Rafferty LaRue. Student. Daughter of Clark Rafferty and Jane LaRue. That's all the information we're really gonna need here about her. We're just gonna copy that and paste in Katrina. Then we're gonna go over to Rhina Roottree model. Daughter of Carl Roottree and Brenda. I'm gonna save that for now. Let me go back here, because I remember her... I should do Brenda Roottree knee white. We're just gonna copy this as well. Spouse is Thomas Sheridan, aka TMS. Carly Roottree. And Carly is also known as Rose. Also known, aka Rose. And then we have Riley there we go. Ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba. Okay, I think we can get rid of this now. Let's see here. Elias and Carl both voted Watchman of the Year. Elias voted Watchman of the Year. By Business Watch. In 1936. I know how to press numbers. Okay, we're gonna go over to Gen 4. Okay, there we are, there we are. Oh, they're all gone. Okay. Because I know we have a lot of evidence that is just sort of loose on this page. So I'm like, let me just quickly look around here. I'm gonna hope that I don't need the years. If I do, I will just simply deal with having to go back and get this information again, you know? Okay. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I think Clansid Trust would be a good thing to note. Named after Elias, or no, sorry, rather, Clancy Edward Jr. Or, not Jr., Elias Jr. Clancy Edward. Created Clansid Trust. I'm just gonna copy this and put this in my miscellaneous. The Roottrees versus RR 1994. You didn't copy. Ba-ba-ba. It was 94, yes? Yes. Sweet History of Candy Volume 2. I mean, we keep our search history in here, right? Have I looked at that? Interesting. I mean, we'll try it. Okay. This is a part of a book series about all things candy in the modern world. It starts in 1925 and continues onward to chronicle the rise of mass production and global distribution. The book ends with a look into the future. Yes, they got it wrong and stuff. Okay, we have looked at this before. Well, let me look up Volume 1. This is a book about all things candy throughout history. It starts with historical accounts dating back to the ancient Egyptians, oh boy, and chronicles candy from the year 1924. It includes some print advertisements from companies you've heard of, including an extremely early newspaper ad for 5 pieces that Charlie included due to a major misprint. Damn. Well, I mean, let's try 3. Okay, there isn't one. Okay. This is good here. Okay, let's just quickly take this. We'll copy this. And we're gonna put this in the miscellaneous for now. Miracle younger than his siblings by 14 years. Younger than his siblings by 14 years. 14 is crazy. Okay, and I think we can delete this page now as well. Okay. So we know Gwendolyn Roottrees, who should be in Gen 2. Zach Morden is one of these children. Okay. And then if we go to Gen 3, because that would be who Zach is here. It's Zachariah, right? Yeah, is that how you spell Zachariah? It's... okay. Zachariah Morden. Which president is he? I believe he is the... yes, the 2nd president. Second president of Roottrees Candy. Son of Gwendolyn and James Morden. Inherited in 1959. Became president in 1959. Either way, going to have a spouse and 2 children. Spouse is A. Father of, once again, X and Y. Okay, now we can delete that. Back to here. We know that James Roottrees has a daughter around the same age as Raina. One of his children, or I guess at least, is a girl around the same age as Reina. Okay. We can delete that note now. Okay, we keep hearing about Gwyn. We don't know when she is a thing. Gwyn Roottree, active in the 1950s. I feel like that puts her in Gen 3 or 4. Gwyn Roottree, actress. 1950s, divorced. I mean, let's see here. Who has gotten a divorce? You have? Well, Gwyn is notable, right? She's on our list of notable names? Yes. So who has the star and also a divorce? Well, there's only one. Because our only other notable name on here is Elias and Gwyneth, because I don't have a Gwyneth's job. So this has got to be Gwyn. She's a part of this. Okay. In that case, we can delete this note and go back to Gen... Is this 4? He'll be with Miracle Jr. Is Miracle Jr. on here? No, it should be 3 then. Where's Miracle Jr.? Did I neglect to write Miracle Jr.? Wow. I can't believe I did that. It's because I already know everything there is to know about Miracle Jr. Let's go ahead and add him then. I feel like it's gotta be Miracle Roottrees Jr. Creature. Son of Miracle Roottrees. Helen seems like... If you're marrying Miracle, Miracle seems like the type of guy to make you change your last name. Miracle and Helen Roottree. Spouse is Edith Jacobson. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And then we have Gwyn. Actor. Daughter of Marguerite Roottree. And A. Divorced from B. Mother of X and Y. There we go. Okay, we can add this thing about Jim and the Diamond. was part of Jim and the Diamond. With his wife. No, it's just Jim and Diamond, my bad. And the other one is C and J plus J and D. Before that was a part of with Diamond, Clark, and Clark's partner. Let me double check here. My cousin and his ex. Clark never knew his father, so our grandpop insisted he spend time with... Huh. Okay, so I just assumed... Yeah, one of, it's gonna be this one, because it's the only one with an image. And we have that image. Whoever that is, their name is gonna start with a J. So if we go over to Clark... Second spouse we'll do J, like that, to indicate that we know the initial. Well, we don't have anyone. We don't have any other girls' names with J. Oh, no, wait, sorry. No, wait. Yeah, it would be C and J. Okay, I'll get rid of that for now. Formerly dated someone with the initial J when he was in C and J plus J and D. And during that interview there, with her youngest sister, because I believe the LaRue sisters, LaRue girls, the Lucky LaRues, that was it. Also known as the Lucky LaRues. What a normal thing to say. Let's see here. Yeah, Kim is the youngest. Had at least a fling with Kim LaRue. Da-da-da. It's how my father was connected to Roottree. What do you mean my father was connected to? He's going to be directly related. Yeah. It seemed like, yes, his father did advertising. Clark is in charge of Raffertoons. Company is called Raffertoons. Da-da-da-da-da. Which did the Super Bowl ad. Which did the Super... There we go. Okay. Lucky LaRue's. Her great uncle's record label. We're gonna copy that. We're gonna put that into here. Oops, I put that twice. Yeah, we have a lot of miscellaneous notes in this section is why. I was like, I need to organize my notes because the one that's just labeled page 6 is fucked up. Okay. Wait a second. Are you even the correct person? Because this isn't locked in, but I didn't realize your name isn't locked in. Are you Kim? Because we know that your last name is LaRue. And we know that he was with Jane. And this says that Jane has a different last name here. Yeah, okay. We're changing that around then. Clark. I'm writing this down as if it's fact. Kim. Jane LaRue. Da-da-da. I think we can get rid of those notes, because I'm confident in that regard. Now that I've put those pieces together. I think we can put her current last name as well. Copy. A lot of Gen 4 notes. There we go. Alright, chat. I know I've not made a lot of progress, but it is still time to take a break, because there is about to be 3 minutes of ads, and I like to take these at moments to remind everybody to fix your posture, to take your meds, to save your files, to unclench your jaw, to feed your pets, to charge your devices, and to make sure you're doing some stretches. If you need to, now's a great time to go to the bathroom or grab a snack or get something to drink. You won't miss out on anything. Now, granted, I haven't done a lot. So far what I've done is I've swapped these two names, and I think I've realized how Gwyn fits into the family tree. That's what I've done so far. But having my notes organized is important, okay? It's good. Because they're organized, I was able to make those connections. I also want to just keep learning new stuff, but I have to make sure I know the old stuff before I can learn the new stuff, you know? And I bet you, once I get those 3 names down, this is gonna lock in and this is gonna lock in. I'm so confident. I don't know who his former spouse was, but I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna, you bet. You fucking bet. I'm gonna go to this big list of names. I might delete the names list. I know we're doing the ads, but I'm just gonna delete the names list. I'm gonna go back over to the big list of names. I just want all of them back. Just for reference, because I'm just gonna have this as a, because I do want to search every name possible. You know? And we'll put it back up here. I'm doing my stretches. My spine. There we go. The fact that I don't know what Gwyneth Roottrees' fucking name is, or what her fucking occupation is driving me crazy. But I know I'll get it eventually. I know I will. You know? But that is where, when I start going for information again, that is going to be my first avenue. Because I feel like I should know it by now. I should fucking know it by now, you know? Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I can delete this note as well. This whole Stephanie thing is going to make me lose my mind as well. Just I love remembering the whole fucking just the whole conspiracy stuff. I love that that's the only achievement I've gotten so far, is for finding all of the conspiracy stuff. Welcome back from the ads. Let's see here. I think we can just have Stephanie Jones written somewhere. Local official. I forget what she was elected for. City Council. Ba-ba-bum. Interviewed with the Butler County Times is what that was. I believe I've already... Yeah. Oh, it tells me if I got, evidence from it. That's fun. Da-da-dum. Born Stephanie Landon, married to Brian Jones. The most generic name I've ever heard. Distant cousin of the Roottrees. Mother is named Caroline. Da-da-da. And her mother has appeared on the front page of the Butler County Times in the past. I want to look that up now, then. Butler County Times, Caroline Landon? Caroline Roottree? It would be crazy if it was Jones. What about just Caroline? A lot of people named Caroline. And, like, do we have anybody named Caroline in here? Caroline Morden. Caroline Morden? There we are. Mother is Caroline Morden. You find a cover story about local art installations, including one by Caroline Morden. There isn't much about Caroline as a person. This is mostly a listing of art in Butler County. She seems to get top billing. Accompanying the story, there is an image of Caroline standing beside a large metal sculpture of a mermaid. It is captioned, "Caroline standing next to her sculpture, Atlantis Burden." This sculpture is one of the many works featured in her upcoming book, Self-Portrait Art and the Beauty of Women. Let me just copy that for now. This is my miscellaneous category for a reason. By Caroline Morden. According to a quote further down, Atlantis' burden is meant to symbolize a society split by indecision over whether women should be equals or something to protect. A picture of the front page has been added to your evidence. Now, I believe Morden over here. Yes. So that means here. And Caroline Morden. Not necessarily in that order. So Gen 3 then would have Caroline Morden, artist, daughter of, I'll just copy here, spouse is X, mother of, we're gonna save the note here for a second, Stephanie Jones nee Landon. So likely got married to somebody named Landon. Spouse is X Landon. That's the wrong guy. Gen 4 is what our... Not Gen 4. Gen 3. There we are. X Landon. Mother of Stephanie Jones and Y. So that would mean Gen 4. Stephanie Jones nee Landon. Politician. And I'll clarify city council. Spouse is Brian Jones, it was? Yes. Brian Jones. Daughter of Caroline Landon Nee Morden. Okay. What was we were looking at here? Okay, we were looking at that. I think we can get rid of this. Jones Graphic and Print was for Brian Jones, yes. Da-da-da. Jones... Yeah. Jones runs... I've been first naming literally everybody. I look at a newspaper once, and I'm suddenly last naming everybody. Jones Graphic and Print. Okay. I'm gonna just copy Roottrees Motors as like a thing here. I'm also going to take Butler Summer Theater. And maybe Butler County School District. Just for the sake of it. Ba-bum. His wife Edith has a sister. Miracle Jr. here, so that would be Gen 3. Edith has a sister. Ba-bum. Yes, Edith and Lucinda here. So back to Gen 3. Edith has a sister named Lucinda. Ba-ba-bum. They committed a crime and were caught by Helen Roottree. So it's like Helen's probably not going to be a part of 4 or 5 if these guys are 18. They could theoretically be a part of Gen 4. I doubt Gen 5. So I'll also write down Helen in here. Cut Edith and Lucinda Jacobson committing crime. And those are a part of Gen 3. Cool, cool, cool. Miracle the Third's wife is named Nicole. Okay, we just don't know which. Spouse is Nicole. We don't know her last name. Ba-bum. Roottrees Motors used to be called Wilkins Motors. There we are. There is that. I'm just gonna copy this one. Ba-ba-ba. I've already looked at Lauren's, but I'll go ahead and write down that in hers that she wrote A Life Between Wars. Wrote A Life Between Wars and the Court Jester series. Let me fix that slash. I feel like I'm always... God damn it. I was about to say, I feel like I'm always leaving a slash by accident. Has a brother named Clancy. So one of these three is named Clancy. Yes, we have Clancy Jr. Okay. Do. That would be for Gen 3 then, so Clancy Jr. Said that he gave lectures. Good evening to you too! He said he gave lectures, so I guess I'll just put down lecturer. Because that could be like a professor of some sort, that could be like a scientist or, well, probably not a scientist, because he said lecturer on specifically the topic of medieval times, so on history. On history. Son of Clancy Edward Roottrees. Spouse is X. And then he would be the father of Y. This does mean that he's gonna be, since this guy's advertising, either gonna be this person or this person. It's either gonna be Carl's dad or this person here. It's lucky all three, or all four of these all got married and had one child. That makes it way easier for my note-taking. Okay. Couldn't make the reunion. Wishing you well from Paris. Gwyn and the boys. Okay, so that's gonna be Gwyn then, assuming that these are... It says film school. Do we know much about Rob? Or Ron? It was one of those two. Ron. Well, anyway, this is gonna be Gwyn. Yes. Ba-ba-ba. She's saying Gwyn and the boys. That feels... Yeah, because she got a big divorce. They mentioned that she had a really big divorce. So Gwyn... Both of which are boys. One could be Ron. Is it Ron or Rob? I already forgot. Ron, yes. Ron. Film school on his jacket. Okay. Back over here. From Debbie to Carl and Brenda. Okay, who was the funeral for? For Ernie. Nicole. Ernie and Nicole are names here, as well as Debbie, but you know, we're trying to figure out here. What's a name that people could say is Ernie? I mean... yeah, there's Ernest and Ernest Jr. Ring bells here. The way that she's phrased that makes me feel like Ernie Sr. is the one who passed away. Okay. If I look at my notes again, what's the list of... yes. Huh. Oh, wait, no, this would be Ernie, the same one the whole time. This is Ernie as in the guy who was it before Carl. Do I have information on what generation this guy is? I don't believe so. Okay, so I'll leave that over here. Ernest Jr. Ernie. But spouse is Debbie. Child Nicole? President 4. Yeah, we have Zachariah down, I believe. Yes. We have 1, 2, we have 4, and we don't have anything about Guy written down yet. I'll go ahead and put him in Miss. Okay, back over to page 2. Eli Jr. referring to... yes, okay. But this was written, I believe, by Lauren. Well, that's the other Morden name, so Angie. If I go over to Gwendolyn. No? Wrong thing there. Interesting, because it says that Angie's around the same age. But I have listed here being Zachariah and Caroline as the children there. I suppose Caroline may not necessarily be... yeah, we're gonna put her down in miscellaneous then for Caroline. Because we don't know who her parents are then. Cause then, Stephanie Jones. Put her in here as well. Cause she might be younger then. Stephanie Jones, cause it could be like she's in this zone. Makes sense to me that way. Ba 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 ba. Alright. Ba 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 ba. Okay, back to this. Okay, that's all I need from that, I think. Guy... yes, died in 1982. I don't know if that information is going to be incredibly necessary as well. Died in 1992. They say 92? Was that the year? 82. 82. I was like, that feels too recent. 1982. Okay. Da-da-da. I'll just write down Operation R2 and RT-29, I suppose, just to have it still. I forget. What information did we get from Thomas Overwood? Yeah, that guy's nothing. I am curious if I go over here. Okay. Nothing about, anything there. Okay, we know Guy Hudson has a twin sister. Hudson, last name. Got it. Hudson. Third president of Roottrees Candy. Son of blank. Father of blank. Twin sister. Was a part of the Boys and Girls Agree series of ads. He and his twin sister were in the Boys and Girls Agree series of ads. There we are. His mother and father, Angie and Christopher. Okay. So, Angie, then. Hudson Nee Morden. Nay. I don't fucking know. Okay, so... Angelica... Hudson... Nay... Morden. I don't know her occupation. Daughter of... Gwendolyn... right? Or do we have Angelica on here yet? I do not. Copy. We can delete that note because she would be here. Gwendolyn and James Morden. Spouse is Christopher Hudson. Okay. Children are Guy, Hudson, twins. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Guy's uncle and current president Zachariah has decided to take an early retirement on traveling the world with his wife. Yeah. Okay. So Clara is his wife. Spouse is Clara. Father of X and Y, my both daughters. Okay. I mean, do we have any Claras? Okay, it's just Lansing. Ba-ba-ba. There we go. Okay, okay, I think we have our notes officially organized. We do still have this one, which is just a part of this. I don't know, it'd be nice if I could, like, mark off the evidence, and I'm like, well, I suppose, it tells me which ones still have things to find, don't they? You know? Okay. Da-da-da-da. Okay, what I wanted to do again was to look up Gwendolyn Roottree again. Or sorry, Gwyneth. Gwyneth would have used as a housewife. I mean, is she just listed as that? There we go. Okay. I'll just leave her at that, and we'll see if that gives me anything better. Okay. Da-da-da-da. Let's go for here. Boys and girls agree. Here we are. Boys and girls never agree on anything, except Roottree. Boys and girls agree, it's gotta be Roottree. So this would be, Zachariah and Angelica, I believe? Perhaps? Or no, this would be, wait. The redheads were, yes, Guy and his twin. I mean, who was Christopher? Christopher was the spouse's name? Mother R. Mother of... So yes, Guy would be in Gen 4. I can move him there. Son of Angelica Hudson and Christopher Hudson. Okay. So one of, I believe then that... Okay, we're going back here for a second. Yeah, the only way that Caroline would have the last name Morden there is that she would have to be one of, Zach's kids. Okay. Save note. Zach is Gen 3, so she would be Gen 4. So that's her. And so then Stephanie would be Gen 5. Okay, there we are. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Anyway, we have those images now. Alright. Over here, we'll go here, the 5 pieces ad. You find this advertisement in The Sweet History of Candy Volume 1 by Charles Lee. It is from 1924, 2 years after the debut of 5 Pieces. The author included it because of the spelling error of the word available near the bottom. It states that the flavors are inspired by their children, and their order is grape, elderberry, egg cream, cinnamon extract, and melon. Allegedly, we can get more information from this, but I'm not sure how, since we already have those 5. Maybe because we don't technically have those 2 locked in. That's probably why. Look, I just need to figure out which of these 2 are which. And we don't know how Ernie Jr. exists yet, do we? Because we don't know anybody named Ernest. Yeah, we don't know anybody named Ernest. Is Ernest a root tree? No, he's a Madsen. We don't know anybody... We don't know any Madsens. I believe that would mean... Would that mean Ernest is a Gen 4? I'll make a note of that, I suppose. Possibly Gen 4. Okay. All this stuff's... Okay. Gwyn is not present in this image. So this is Lauren talking. She mentions her grandma, who would be Gwyneth. Insisted we include Sam, even though they didn't want to. this could also be that guy. I'm not sure. Because my thought is that this is likely Sam. But that's Miracle there. Yeah, she only has brothers. So we can mark these all down as male. Let's write that down in our notes, I think, which seems like good information. Is this Gen 3? Yes, I believe so, yes. Only has brothers. Yeah, we know one of them is Clancy. My thought for Ernest, given that Ernest has a different last name, is that he's either here, here, or here. But we'll find out, I suppose. Like, this could also be Sam. I believe we have an ambiguous Sam. Yeah, there's two Sams. Okay, we have this redhead back here. It's likely going to be, Angelica? I assume. So maybe this is, Zach? Unsure. Unclear. Okay. There's also this one here of the Free Spirits. I mean, that guy's wearing a name tag that says Eli. You know? Do we have... Yeah, we just have Elias of Two Regards. So Bonnie is president, Guy Hudson is present, Ernie Jr., Caroline, Gwyneth, Gwendolyn, Miracle, Jim, Clark, Carl, and Eli. Gwendolyn is in here. I don't believe we have a photo of Gwendolyn. We do not. And I believe, yeah, Marguerite is not present. And if she is, she hasn't labeled herself. So looking between these two, I'm truly just like... I'm not sure, you know? Neither of these women look like they're in both. I know that this kid is November. I'm gonna have to leave that one for now. I also don't know who these people are. We know that these are likely Gwen's kids, but we don't know their names. We have Jake here. We have Jack. This is also Gwen. We have two photos of Gwen. I'm gonna use this other one. This one's cool. His second cousin, Ernie Jr. So yes, Ernie is a part of the same generation. That's confirmed. Let's go ahead and copy. It would be Gen 4, I believe. Yeah, there's Carl. So Ernest Roottree Jr. Fourth president of Roottree Candy. I'm gonna just shorten it to RCC. Spouse is Debbie. Okay. We'll just save it like that for now. Let's see here. So, in my mind, it's your cousins, your parents' cousins' kids is what that is. So, Ernest would be here, here, or here, as I had predicted before. Alright. Because could theoretically also be over here. Yada yada, yada yada. Unsure, unsure. Alright, 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 alright. Okay. We know that somebody got together. Some Wilkins got together with a Roottree, you know? Alright. I know I have stuff over there. Something I want to do real quick is go to the periodicals, go to Business Watch here. Because it mentioned that they should have anything about every president. I just want to go through all of them real quick. Yeah, we've already done this one. Zachariah. Zachariah's last name was Morden. Yes, son there. Elias entrusted me with carrying on his legacy, and that's what I plan to do, along with 5 pieces of chocolate. Yes, we've already done. We've read that, I believe. Guy Hudson. Yes, we've read this as well. Now, if I just look up Ernie Jr. Okay. Root president to take over Roottree. Due to his heart illness, Ernie Jr. is stepping down as president of Roottree at the start of his second quarter in 1996. His second cousin Carl, president of sister company Root and former Watchman of the Year, will take over. It has been 13 years since Ernie was forced to step into the role of president unexpectedly. Back then, not much was known about the man other than his full name. In the years since, he's taken on a bit of a reputation as a real-life Wonka. He's known as a bit eccentric and reclusive, opting to simply be called Ernie Jr. and to forgo the typical luxuries of the average Roottree. But in our estimation, he has been a shrewd businessman with an eye for sweets. Ernie Jr. has led Roottree to record profits by developing new products, including the ever-popular Maple Crisps, and by spearheading the formation of Root with his cousin in 1982 after learning of Brenda Roottree's power in the fashion community. So Ernie here created Maple Crisps. Okay. And we've already, of course, looked up Carl, but just for the sake of it. What happens if I just look up Roottree Candy Company? Alright. Nothing new there. What about Root? Okay, other companies that we've heard of. I mean, what about the Super Bowl? Da-da-da-da. Would that be Gen 4? What's that one person here? Okay, Gen 5 then. Jones Graphic and Print. I don't know if this is a big enough... Okay, yeah, it's not a big enough company, I don't think. Okay. Let's look here then. Caroline standing next to her sculpture, Atlantis Burden. Yes, sculpture is one of many works featured in her upcoming self-portrait, Art and the Beauty of Women. Okay. Image had accompanied a story about local art in the Butler County Times. Yes. Did I look up her book? No, I did not. I wrote that down to look up, and then I never did, because I got distracted. Alright, so author name, Caroline Morden. Title, Self-Portrait, Art and the Beauty of Women. Dedicated to Eloise and Stephanie. Mostly black and white pictures of Caroline's art. Centerpiece is a series of full-color, nude self-portraits at different ages, stretching from 25 to 30. They certainly have not been added to your evidence. In the intro, Caroline talks about her influences. She was one of the youngest in her generation, and in her late teens she felt betrayed when her sister Gwendolyn and cousin Bonnie gave up on their dreams to settle for boring men. She especially likes her brother-in-law, Dr. Wilson, who she calls completely bogus. I'm just gonna highlight this whole thing. Their marriages led her to double down on her passions, art, and the environment. She even married a man who was, quote, the opposite of boring, which was an overcorrection. She comes out strongly against the Roottrees Company's effect on the local environment, and rues how she was not able to convince her father, Zach, to make changes to policy. She also explains her marriage to Mark led to the most volatile moments of her life, all negative, and that the only good thing he ever gave her was a daughter, Tam. Leaving them all behind for good has pushed her to pursue her true loves, art and the beauty of women. Okay. I believe this would be Zach, then. Because she had a marriage and then divorce, it seems. So I'm assuming that this would be Zach. Zachariah Morden. Okay, let's pull out our notes again real quick. And Angelica Hudson. There we are. I believe we can now say here... Copy. There we are. And Zach, specifically Zachariah Morden. Okay. Then go down here. Angelica. We don't know her job. Spouse is Christopher Hudson. One of these children would be Guy. The other one is an unknown daughter. Ba-ba-bum. So, Zachariah. Spouse would be Clara Lansing. He would be the second president. Then his children would be here. Let's see here. Would be Caroline and Gwendolyn. And she's talking about one of the youngest in her generation, so I'm assuming that Gwendolyn is older than her. Gwendolyn and Caroline. So this would be Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn Morden. And Caroline Morden. I think we can get rid of the both daughters moment in here now. Caroline would be an artist. Daughter of Zachariah and Clara. Spouse, we've learned here, ex-spouse is Mark Landon. We can get rid of that bit there. Mother of Stephanie Jones. So this would probably be here. Stephanie Landon, then. Okay, and then Stephanie here. Daughter of Caroline Morden and Mark Landon. Though it seems she was adopted. By somebody here. Her spouse is Brian Jones. She is a politician. And we know that she is... Where is she? Is that her? That's her. Yeah, baby! There we go! There we go. And then we got the LaRues correct as well. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, they're all coming in. Oh my god, there were so many there. What a great time for an ad break. Chat, if you need to go to the bathroom or grab a snack, or need to grab a snack, or you need to get something to drink, now's going to be a great time to do so. I'm gonna be not thinking about the game during this time. You won't miss out on anything. This is also your hourly self-care check-in, so please fix your posture, take your meds, save your files, unclench your jaw, feed your pets, charge your devices, and do some stretches. You gotta do anything right now? This is your reminder. Please take care of yourself. It's very good for you. I immediately went to stretch and I knocked over like everything, and by everything I mean one singular item, but it clattered into my keyboard, which made a lot of noise for me personally. And I assume you all heard it as well. Organizing the notes definitely helped a whole lot. You know? Organizing the notes really made all of the dominoes so much easier. Because I had all this information. I just know where to look now. It's like, oh, I didn't even like look up too much more. Now granted, the one thing I did look up that has given me a lot of information here, being Caroline's book. It's like, oh, from this I get to do so much. I get a lot from this. Oh, and we did get this guy correct. I'm glad. Though I do believe then that means that, Sam would be somebody else. Because that was my other theory, was if that wasn't Sam, that would be somebody else. Oh, fuck. I tried to drink water and it fucked up. Okay, I think I stopped coughing from fucking up drinking water. Like, I think I can unmute myself now. Boy, oh boy. Don't you love it when that happens? Oof. Okay, stretching time. I'm doing one of those ones where, like, you raise one of your arms over your head and then you sort of, like, grab it with your other arm. I don't know any terminology for stretches, you know? My main one is just sort of twisting my spine back and forth. I don't know anything. Doing some wrist stretches as well. I've been doing a stupid art project that I have to fit. I have a deadline that is so fast. New video in the next couple of days, chat. It's the stupid one I was talking about. Okay, ads should be over. Let's get back into this. Booyah indeed. Oh, I'm getting a phone call? On my landline.
So, you may have heard the news. Some of Carl's things have gone missing. That includes the pictures and mail I brought you earlier. I promise I didn't steal it. But I did borrow it. I'll return it once we're done. Let me deal with my family in the meantime. Oh, I guess that means I've officially confessed.
Well, I'm glad that you are a part of the family. That's one of the better options.
I'm a root tree. I assure you I have a reasonable explanation for the secrecy. I'm about to do something big the family doesn't approve of. If you could just wait a little bit longer, I'll tell you more. In person. I'll return after 15 more blood relatives.
It's so ominous when you capitalize it and bold it like that. I was curious about this. Am I able to, like, look at any of these? Why am I able to look at these? Like, what's the purpose of these? What? Woo woo! It was at 25, I'll leave it at 25. Password! Wait. Dead? The Roottrees are dead, probably, yeah. Okay, okay. Okay. Back over here. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Alright, so we know that... Okay, so Caroline, here, daughter of Zachariah and Clara. We know that Zachariah and Clara, yeah, we have daughter Gwendolyn listed. Now we can have Gwendolyn over here listed. Gwendolyn Morden. We know that she is married. We don't know her job yet. Ba-ba-ba. Spouse is yada yada. I mean, if we go over here real quick, we have, there's Stephanie Landon, whose mother is Caroline. There we are. Her sister here, yes, married with 3 children. That's a lot. Mother of A, B, and C. Okay. I did want to quickly go back and look around for... It was for you, that was it, because I wanted to attach your other photo. Okay, so we know that this is Miracle Jr. here. If I go back to this image... Sam is likely... I feel like this isn't Sam. It's either one of these two. Not sure, though. But anyway, we know Gwendolyn exists. And her cousin Bonnie. So that means Bonnie, being her cousin, would be parents, siblings, children. So one of these would be Bonnie. One of Angelica's kids. Bonnie Hudson. Angelica here. I don't know which of them would have children. We know that Guy was in a car accident. So, if I had to guess, maybe Bonnie is the one who had kids, since she likely lived longer than he did. Unsure though. Ba-ba-ba-ba. So Gen 4 here. Twin sister Bonnie. Wait, so do we have confirmed that he was a father? I have written down father of blank. Did I do that for a reason, I guess is the question. Let me add a to search. I should name the thing that. Why am I doing that? Guy Hudson children? Did Guy Hudson have children? Let's specify there. Anyway, let's finish reading this here. Brother-in-law, Dr. Wilson. Okay. So that would mean this guy would be Wilson. Alright. Not really narrowing anything down here. So Gen 4 here... Or sorry, Gen 4, now I'm actually clicked on it. This would be Gwendolyn here. Spouse is Dr. Blank Wilson. Yeah, we can't have occupation for him. I mean, do we have any Wilsons? Yeah, Jem, Jason, Steven, and Zach. So Jem is gonna be one of the kids. Jason and Steven and Zach. One of those is the father, and the other three would be... or the other two would be kids, rather. Oh, that combined together. Yeah, her father, Zach. Marriage to Mark. Okay, there we are. Okay, I think we can assume that this is Brian Jones, that that's her spouse on the cover there. I'm assuming that Caroline's new partner is a woman. She gives me, like, from all of this, you know, her true loves art and the beauty of women, you know? I'm assuming that. Yes, this is Wilson, not Wilkins. I was like, that would be crazy getting here. Okay. Now I've got to look up stuff about Guy Hudson real quick. Okay. Business Watch. Yes, Guy has daughters, plural. Father of multiple daughters, we'll say. I misspelled dot. I just put dots. So, we know that Guy and Bonnie are twins, and they're these two. We know that Guy has children, meaning that this has got to be Guy, and that this is going to be Bonnie. Now, I don't believe we have an image of Guy yet, but we'll find out. Son, or father of X and Y, both daughters. Alright, there we are. And we don't have any notes about who his spouse would be. We do not. Spouse is Z. I have caps lock on, there we go. And I suppose I can also make a note for Bonnie. Oh, I've not created Bonnie yet. Why don't I have Bonnie? Did I put Bonnie in the wrong spot? I figured that I had a Bonnie. I don't have a Bonnie. Alright. Bonnie Hudson. Something. Daughter of... Angelica and Christopher Hudson. Spouse is Y, rather. Okay. There we go. Oh yes, we do have images of Guy. What am I on about? We have images of Guy and Bonnie. And Guy is he was one of the presidents, which third, yes. That's the one I thought, but I wanted to double check. I mean, we can assume that these adult redheads are also them, but these ones we have confirmed, so I'm gonna go ahead and go for these. Okay. We know that Caroline is one of these people. She has wavy hair and glasses in this, but... I mean, if I had to guess, I'd say that that's Caroline back there, with the little beret. Oh, we don't have her verified yet, though. Gwendolyn would be her sister as well. Okay. Oh, Jim Roottrees is a part of this. Yeah, we don't have this one down. There's 3 possible ones here. Is Clark? Clark is. And does Clark have glasses? My mind is saying yes, but I might be... No. He just has glasses energy, I suppose. Here's the more up-to-date one, where he's with his family. Okay. Not really knowing who is who in that. Okay, let's go ahead and look at A Life Between Wars. Excerpts from the Diary of a Roottree. Lauren Roottrees. Captures the evolution in perspective from adolescence to adulthood. Review by the Butler County Times. I mean, well, now let's check for the Butler County Times. Periodicals, Butler County Times, Lauren Roottrees. Reviewed her diary, A Life Between Wars. They go into a bit of Lauren's history. She grew up around the famous Roottrees family, wrote some romance books involving historical figures that were released under her married name. Now her diaries were released under her birth name. Reviewer gives it a 4 out of 5, claims it captures the evolution in perspective from adolescence to adulthood, and a true feeling of change in society across multiple decades. They call special attention to the author's recollection of the day of how she heard that her husband, Jacob, died in the war. Okay. And how times have changed in the more than 20 years between first and last diary entry. Okay. Lauren, was she Gen 3? Yes, up here. Spouse would be Jacob Rafferty. We can write that in now. And then I'm assuming that that's who the people on the cover of this are, would be these two. Back to here. The writer of the review mentions that because the majority of the interactions in the book took place in Butler County, including many locations they personally recognize, made everything feel more real and perhaps contributed to a higher score than it would have received otherwise. Yeah. It says to check it out at your local library. I believe I have. I believe that's where I got all this from. Yep. Mm-hmm. And Lauren's thoughts around her husband, Jacob. Jacob died in the final months of World War II. While Lauren was pregnant, she was left to raise Clark alone. Never remarried, only had one child. Granddaughter of Elias and Gwyneth on her father's side. Yep, we got that. Her mother's family was called the Cossells, but she hardly ever mentions them. Well, there we go. Sarah Cassell. We'll go ahead and add that to Gen 2 here. Married to Sarah Cosell. Lauren Roottrees here. Daughter of Sarah Cosell. father, who she always refers to as Pup, was the head lawyer for the Roottrees family company, helped write the claims of trust. Okay, it's clear that from context the Roottrees have internal shorthand names for the different generations of their family. Lauren uses them often. 5 pieces. Yeah. The next generation is Lauren's generation. Next gen. I mean, I know 5 pieces. I already have that written down on here. Then free spirits here is... That's why they were labeled the way they are, those images. Okay. So the next generation here is everybody here but Gwyn. Okay. This is the one that she is part of. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not including you, 7, 8. Wait, let me count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I couldn't remember if I included Lauren or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not include 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because I'm not including him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, there's a missing one, aside from the already missing one. One of these people is Sam, who they were already like, why is this person a part of it? Interesting. Interesting. But yeah, we know that these are that group. So this guy here is going to either be Miracle's other child, the child of Elias Jr., or Zachariah. Interesting. Okay, yeah, I don't think we have enough information really still, but that's good to know. We know that this is all the free spirits, which is this generation here. Makes me really curious as to whose kid November is. Like, this child is only here. Nobody else has ever mentioned her ever. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I'm guessing that you're Eli M, then. Okay. We've looked at that. Next page. An entry entitled Complaints from Lauren Roottrees' diary, written in 1953. The entry seems to focus specifically on one of Lauren's family members, Gwyn. Seems as everyone has something to complain about. Gwyn, as an only child, complained of loneliness. I told her that being expected to watch after 3 younger brothers didn't feel like a blessing, but it felt all in deaf ears. During the summer where I went to stay with her and Aunt Margot, I hoped she would be the sister I never had and that I'd do the same for her. I even tried to dye my hair blonde to fit in with the 2 of them. What a mess. But she just complained. To her, I was the lucky cousin. Alright, so Margot was also blonde, meaning that that's likely Margot. And this would be Gwendolyn. Now, we don't know their jobs yet, I don't think. But I can look into that later. Now she's off living the glamorous life while I'm stuck here with Clark. I must admit, seeing her everywhere contributes to my unhappiness. Her visage stares at me even now from my coffee table. She gets to be in Starlet and tell tales about how she gallivants around the world, kissing the likes of Harrison Lane and Wild Bill Williams. She's the first Rootree woman to be anything other than a housewife, and I am jealous. If I were not a single mother, could I make my own way in this world? So, the other Rootree women were housewives? There we go. Thank you for that information there. Hey, and I got an achievement for locking in the 5 pieces. Booyah. Nice. Alright, alright. Alright, alright. Hell yeah. Back to this. I did also want to, let's go to my miscellaneous here. I've already noted that. I guess I'll put this in my to search. But I'm off topic. A girl with all the luck in the world was jealous of me, and now, though I have been undoubtedly burdened by a terrible tragedy, I am also lucky to be born into a family that can support me for eternity. I can raise a child without worry, unlike countless other widows. If any of them were to hear me complaining, they would rightfully scoff just like I do at Gwyn. Dynasty. From her diary, 1958. Focuses on the day her grandfather Elias announced he would step down as president of the Rootree Candy Company, the meeting to determine his successor. I wish I had been a fly on the wall today. Clancy told me that everyone got quite heated. Granddad was furious none of his sons would take over as president, but that's what he gets for holding on to it so long. With architects, preachers, and lawyers, nobody's got time for candy. So with the 5 pieces refusing to step up, it came down to us next gens. Let's see here as well. I want to quickly check here. Clancy. That's one of your, brothers, right? Or no, let's see here. Is that your uncle? No, yes, you have Clancy Jr. as your brother. We knew that, we knew that. We just don't know which of their brothers that one is. Pop argued at length that the company should stay with the R branch of the family, since we still have the Rootree name. I'm not even sure Clancy would have wanted it, but he's the one who was volunteered. Damn. Instead, it ended up going to Zach. Even though his surname doesn't match the candy, he's the firstborn son of the firstborn 5-piece. I'm not sure how that's relevant to running a company, but Granddad has always had very particular views when it came to his bloodline. Yeah, and we already... Firstborn son. Firstborn son. Oh boy. I asked Clancy if it ever came up that a woman could take over. After all, Angie's older than Zach. Hey! And I'm the next oldest of us all, but he just laughed. I'll never forget the cuss words Pop used when he told Mom it wouldn't go with us. Mother, ever the quick-witted, at least with catty remarks, countered back, maybe they wanted it to go to the only member of the family who looks like he samples the product. Alright, I think I know which one is Zach, then. 'Cause this guy was obviously... He was the only heavy-set member of the family. Which is fucking wild. Like, you're telling me only one of y'all is fat? Come on. I guess it would run in the family then. Never mind. If they're all one. I'm just like, I'm so used to seeing people of various sizes. Come on. But I'll take the hint, even if you're being a bitch about it. Da-da-da-da. So that's you, then. One of you is Sam. You know that Gwyn isn't in it. I mean, if one of these kids... I mean, if he was there as a kid, maybe this guy wasn't born yet? I don't know. I believe that we'll give the ginger to you. And we'll give you that one. You're probably Sam. Yeah, you would have inherited the Roottree name there. Looks like she doesn't really like being here, but you know. that adds to it, you know? It adds to it. Okay. We've gotten that much here. Here we are! An entry entitled Sam from Lauren Rootree's diary. From a previous entry, you learned that Elias Rootree had given in to his wife, and announced that Sam, an obscure relative, was to be included in family gatherings. Gwyneth had been pushing to include Sam for quite some time. Lauren writes, "Why Sam? I have many distant relatives I've never met. After all, Granny had sisters and Granddad had a brother or two. But I was told, trim their branches from the family tree. So why is Sam special? Nothing adds up. And I'm not the only one to realize." Angie summoned all the next-gens to a secret meeting in Zach's office. Gwen's in Paris, but the rest of us, including Miracle's boys, spent ages trying to unravel the mystery. I didn't recognize Sam at Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy last year. At the reception, when I asked who Sam was, Pop shushed me and said it was complicated. Clancy swore he saw Sam working alongside the farmhands, EC and John when he used to drive past the old Anderson farm on his way to work. Upon hearing that, Zach checked the records and managed to confirm all three are on the books. So maybe you're not Sam, I don't know. I'm just gonna leave you as a mystery. Because there's also Cattrall, who perchance could be there, you know? Could perchance be a bastard of some sort, you know? Yeah, there's no pronouns here for Sam. Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy. Written by you. Uncle Junior? I guess you, so Patsy. Is gonna be either Patricia Jones or Christensen. Elias Roottree Jr. Married to Patricia... But though she did show up, they did show up at that wedding. I mean, could be a bastard from a previous fling or something, you know? The old Anderson farm on his way to work. Clancy said that. God, I don't know whether this... Guys, it's like if you need an Oxford comma, use an Oxford comma. I can't tell if this is like alongside the farmhands, EC and John, or the farmhands being EC and John. You know? I can't tell. Do we know an EC? Do we know a John? Oh boy. See, I'm gonna take it as the way it's written. If you meant to use an Oxford comma, you should have fucking used it. Yeah, I'm on your case, Lauren. All three are on the books. Eli, Miracle's youngest, not my brother. Yeah, okay. So we know that one of these guys is Elias, and the other one is also Elias. Okay, so this would be Gen... Well, we can start off here with these guys. Clancy Edward. Elias blank. Ba-ba-ba. And then for Gen 3 here, or back over to Miracle. And Elias blank. Next gen here. Elias blank. Da-da. Son, god damn it, son of these guys. I'll just leave it like that for now. And then, if we find Miracle Jr. here, take a copy of that. Elias blank, also an X, son of Miracle, and Helen Roottree. Apparently, when he was riding his mini bike alongside the farm a few weeks ago, Sam gave him some old tools and taught him how to make the bike's engine faster. None of us think that proper for a multitude of reasons, but Eli certainly seems thrilled. Makes me think that that might be related to the motors? At the end of the day, nothing explains why an outsider has cozied into family affairs, especially one who works on the farm of all places. Whatever happened to blood is thicker than syrup? Why is Granddad making an exception now? Feels like a bastard situation, I don't know. Okay. Clark. One of the final entries, called Clark from Lauren Rootree's diary, 1964. Clark's getting married, and, in my opinion, far too young. He's barely 18, for God's sake, and Danielle isn't much older, but openly confronting them would make me a hypocrite. After all, Jacob and I got married at 16. Clark, like the rest of his generation, is a free spirit. Clark would be your son, right? Yeah. What else do you call a group of kids growing up with more money than any one person can spend? They all... Or Danielle. Wait, is that your... Yeah, that would probably be her, wouldn't it? Yeah, Danielle Franks, then. Ba-ba-ba. They all aspire to be musicians and artists and dancers and all sorts of nonsense. The only one who has any discipline is Carl, but that's because Pop forced Clancy to send him to the academy. Aha! Clancy is his dad, then. His dad is Clancy? There we are. That's the one I have been expecting it to be. Son of Clancy Roottree Jr. Clancy Roottree Jr. Father of Carl Roottree. Okay, and let's look at the jobs here. I mean, like, is professor? Professor is a job. It's probably professor, right? Is like a teacher. Is lecturer. Okay, it's probably professor. Da-da-da-da-da. Maybe I'm just getting old, but our generation was never so bad. My brothers all seemed to pursue paths of knowledge, and the most rebellious thing any of us ever did was bring home someone who would be illegal to marry if we lived anywhere south of Pennsylvania. Pop seems to have gotten over it, because Edward is set to take over his department once he retires. Okay, so I guess that means that somebody got with a person of color. I had noticed some characters being, not the palest in the world, I suppose. I don't know why I'm talking in euphemism. I noticed some black people around here. I suddenly understand why I was talking in not unison. I used the word like a sentence ago. What? Euphemism. Edward. Who the fuck is Edward? Oh, you said Pop got over it? Oh, is Edward gonna be one of your kids? One of your, brothers? Yes. Alright, I'm going to assume then... I feel like Edward is probably gonna be the last one there. Because, look, we're gonna look at him. We're looking at James here. I don't want to assume, but he doesn't look the most mixed in the world. Gen 3 next gen here. Alright, let's start off with Gen 2 here. We know for sure, that Edward. Let's go ahead and just pop him in. Ah! I hate when that happens. I haven't done that in so long. And he's likely gotten with a person of color, it seems. So I'm going to assume yes, Free Spirits is the next generation here. I'm gonna guess November is your kid? Where's November? You look like a student. You look like a baby. I guess I'm not confident on that, but I'll leave it like that for now. You look like a kid. Let's go ahead and make notes as if I'm right. Well, we know that she is in the Free Spirits. Daughter of... Edward, Roottree, and blank. Now, granted, she could be, in college by now, but I'll just leave her like that. I don't know, she could be at the 12 section, who knows. As for me, my first published book, Swashbuckle My Heart, is based on the pirate stories that I used to invent with Jacob when we were walking in the woods after school. I think he'd be proud that Clark and I are carrying on his name. Even my cousins are doing well. Zach's not a bad president, after all, and his sister seems to be doing a good job raising her twins. Gwen is Gwen, but at least she came out of the divorce with her head held high. She even told us she might come home next year so we can meet her kids. But the Free Spirits and any other family, they'd all end up on the streets. Even Clark. Damn. Okay, let's look up that book that she mentioned here. The Public Library. This would be by Lauren Roottree. Well, no, it's probably gonna be Rafferty. Swashbuckle My Heart. No copies available. Re-released as X marks the spot. Alright. Let me double check here. Copy. Paste. Okay, let's try changing her name to Roottree. Yes. According to the back of the book, this is A Buried Treasure by Lauren Roottree from the author of the Court series. It also says to keep an eye out for Lauren Rootree's next book, Revisiting the Diary 10 Years Later, releasing in 1975. Boy oh boy, it's past that. Scandal.txt! Ooh! This was a version of Lauren Roottree's diary, released in 1975. Unlike the original diary, it contains no pictures, but has many new passages that reflect on her thoughts 10 years later. One major event happened between releases that changed Lauren's outlook on certain subjects: the death of Elias. A summary of the fallout has been added to your notes, as well as some other select pages. The fallout. Good gosh. Now I want to look up this stuff as well. Starlet was a magazine that started with the colorization of film and went around until 1964. Generally, it was a tabloid with a focus on famous actors and actresses. Okay. We'll look up that as well. I do want to look up Harrison Lane. Yes, I do believe I've looked this guy up before. Yes. Wild Bill Williams, I'm really intrigued by. Wild Bill Williams was a leading man of some non-notable movies in the 1950s. Appeared in one adventure movie called Fortune Favors the Grave, which is yet to be released for home audiences. You don't find any additional information about that film? Fine. He's known for his good looks and off-screen romances, specifically with blondes. He was married 4 different times to 4 different actresses. There's a famous Hollywood rumor that he even approached Marilyn Monroe at a party and that she was already aware of his reputation. And, you know, he grew up in Paris, France. He returned there often. Gwen, was your spouse happen to be a certain Wild Bill Williams? It wouldn't be, would they? Wild Bill Williams may be Gwen's ex. I'm gonna write that down, because they're in Paris. Okay, Fortune Favors the Grave. I know it's said that they didn't find anything, but... Alright. What if I looked up Marilyn Monroe? Damn. Okay, back over here. Let's go over to Teen Blast real quick. Do they have anything about their competition? No. Okay, Harrison Lane. Wild Bill Williams. Okay, let's also check real quick for Gwen. Okay, Gwen is just a root tree. Okay, we're going over to Starlet now. I want to also check in Starlet here. TMS? No, alright. Harrison Lane? Nothing relevant. Wild Bill Williams, I'm really intrigued by. Mentioned many times throughout the magazine's lifespan, with stories and gossip about who he had been seen with in public, blondes mostly. 3 specific passages stand out. The first one mentions one of his roles was under his real name, Walter Forsyth. There we go. You're fucking in here, dude. And yeah, since that guy doesn't have a photo, these are definitely gonna be her kids, these blondes here. Second is an interview. Although he doesn't mention her by name, you determine from context he's talking about Gwen. An apology to all the ladies. I'm actually taken. Earlier this year, I did a friend a favor. He was directing a war movie, and he asked me to play a small part. Wouldn't you know it, that son of a bitch cut me from the picture. I'm just ribbing, it wasn't his fault. Apparently the studio didn't want to pay for a star of my caliber. I got the last laugh, though. I met someone. She spent most of the film crying. She was playing a soldier's wife, but even through the tears, she was incredible. I know I tend to have a reputation, but this one's true love. I only have eyes for her. Ironically, the third is a rumor that his divorce from Gwen was due to multiple affairs, including one with another actress. An American reader on vacation in Paris claims to have overheard Wild Bill and Gwen arguing in public while she was holding a baby and visibly pregnant. Not long after, Gwen announced she was divorcing Wild Bill, and also that she was pregnant again, giving this rumor more credibility. Dang! Okay, and we got to know, that name, so that's great. Gwen Roottrees was often in Starlit. Most mentions were around the time of her divorce in 1958 from Wild Bill Williams. The gossip is speculative and full of tabloid stereotypes. Some of it focuses on the fact that when she announced her divorce, she was also announced that she was pregnant again. Others mention the rumor is that Wild Bill had multiple affairs, which left her heartbroken. There's also an interview from earlier, in mid-1957, where she was asked about her last name. She answered, "The power of a last name is undeniable. My grandfather constantly preached the importance of family names and honoring them. My father decided to bless me with a famous name. There's nothing wrong with Cornwall, but Roottrees has power. My husband, similarly, goes by Wild Bill. It's an infamous name he repurposed for himself because he didn't have the benefit of being born with a famous one. But Wild, combined with the alliteration Williams, is incredibly memorable." Who's Cornwall? I guess would that be your, dad? Probably Linus Cornwall, then. Alright, let's see here. Gen 2 here. Oh yeah, we know for sure. Married to Linus Cornwall. Gwen and Linus Cornwall. Divorced from Wild Bill Williams. I guess that's also a Walter Forsyth. Okay, back over here. Although we've relocated to Paris, I know your readers love to keep up with my husband, so consider this a Starlit exclusive about both of us. Wild Bill and I have a child on the way, and we're sticking to Roottrees for the last name, not Williams. But we also plan to lean into alliteration. That's how we'll honor both of our family names for the next generation. Okay. That confirms to me that Ron is going to be one of these guys, so Ron and Robert, probably. I don't know if both of them begin with R. At least the first child. His name starts with R. I should also say X and Y Roottrees. Okay. There we go, we have that now. Do we go for it? Do we look up more? I think I'm gonna go for this. The new diary opens with an explosive incident that happened in the decade between the release and re-release of Lauren's diary. Elias Roottrees had died, and during the reading of his will, there was an audible gasp when a certain name was read aloud. Samantha Roottrees. Although Sam and her children were not meant to receive monetary inheritance, he had a stipulation that she retained the rights to run the farm and any and all decisions related to it. It was then scandalous secrets came out. None of the 5 pieces were surprised, but it was quite a shock to everyone else, including Sam. She had been told her parents died. Apparently, Sam was the illegitimate daughter of Elias Jr. and Patricia Christensen. Whoa! Okay. Yeah, baby. Baby. Not there. I guess I can do this real quick. Okay, so Elias Jr. Who with Patricia... what? Christensen, you said? Well, that's listed as spouse. Whatever. That's probably gonna be you. Samantha Roottree. Probably farmer. She was given the farm in the will. So, Gen 2 here. Had Samantha Roottree illegitimately with Patricia Christensen. Patricia, the daughter of a local steel mogul, and Eli Jr. harbored a secret romance at age 16. She became pregnant, and after the birth, her father refused to ever let her see Eli Jr. ever again. Her baby, Samantha, was sent to the Roottrees. Elias hid her away with a local farmhand known as EC, and Patricia was married off to a much older man and sent away. That was the end of it. Almost. I mean, I'm like, what do I... Like, is that her? I'm gonna have it like that for now. This is an illegitimate daughter situation. Did he have a legitimate kid as well? I'm gonna have... Yes, I think this is a good way of putting it. How the fuck do you spell architect? It's literally right there. What am I talking about? I was like, it doesn't look right here. Okay. We'll put Samantha in here. Samantha Roottree. Daughter of Elias Jr. Roottree. Well, we'll just say Elias Jr. and Patricia Christensen. Raised on the Roottree farm, it seems. Raised by farmhand known as EC. Let's see here, yeah. Patricia was the daughter of a local steel mogul. Yeah, okay. That was the end of that. Almost. I'm intrigued. I found the bastard I've been looking for. And I want to do more, but I can't yet because there's about to be 3 minutes of ads. Chat, this is your hourly self-care check-in. You need to go to the bathroom or grab a snack or get something to drink. Now is going to be the perfect time to do so. The game's going to be paused. I'm not going to try and think of anything. I mean, I'm going to be thinking of stuff, but like I'm not going to actually make any progress during this time. So if you need to, take a break, do it now. This is also your reminder to fix your posture, take your meds, unclench your jaw, feed your pets, charge your devices. But what do I say? I always forget. There's always at least one part of stream where I start forgetting everything. Do some stretches. Save your files? Have I said that one? Whatever. Take care of yourself, chat. Do it. I command you to. There's a part of me that wants to go back to the other... I'm probably gonna go back to the other diary entry and write down who those other farmhands were. Because EC was mentioned. Just, like, get that written down and come back. It is interesting. Like, I feel like I found the bastard a lot faster than I expected. The faster bastard, if you will. I want to quickly pop over here. After the whole family tree has been filled in. Okay. Intriguing. Oh, I'm so interested. I'm like, what happened to Patricia? There's a part of me that also wants to look up Steel, because it says a local steel mogul. Look up Steel within the local newspaper thingy. See if there's anything about the company there. About the Christiansens. I'm excited. This game is fun. I love puzzle. I love puzzle so much. I feel really cool right now. I felt immediately so uncool as soon as I said that. I've been watching, I think it's season 5, it might be 4. I think it's season 5 of, New Zealand Taskmaster. And, as soon as I said I feel really cool right now, I was like, this is Abby Howells. I'm becoming Abby Howells. She's just like me for real. We chose, to watch, that season of New Zealand Taskmaster because I'd seen, like, a single screenshot of her. And I was like, I know that that has to be the first season that I watch of New Zealand. And boy oh boy, has it, and especially she, lived up to my expectations. Oh boy. Alright. The ads should be over. Let's finish reading this entry and then we can branch off from it. None of the next gens had ever met or heard of Patricia until she unexpectedly reappeared, now going by Patsy. After Patsy's husband died, she reunited with Eli Jr. and they finally married in their 50s. Lauren mentioned the wedding in her first diary without knowing Patsy's history. Okay, I can do this then. Okay, there we are. I'm leaving her as farmer. I don't know if that's true. Eli Jr. had never taken another lover. Lauren, ever the romantic, quite appreciated this. When Patsy and Eli Jr. finally married, Elias decided Sam should have been a root tree in the first place. Even though she was not a part of the Clansed Trust, he wanted to include her in family affairs. That's what led initials to Lauren's initial entry entitled Sam. Okay. And her children. She had children here. Okay. What I wanted to look at here is first of all going back to this one. Sam. Essie and John here. Okay. Miscellaneous, I suppose, here. Farmhands, E.C. and John. It's like, they used it correctly. I was complaining about Oxford comma, but it was correct. I'm so glad. It's just the amount of people who don't use one when they need to makes me feel nervous. Okay. I did want to look up steel in Butler County Times Steel. Christensen. How do they spell it? Christensen. Okay. Christensen Steel. There we are. Christensen Steel was a steel company in the early 1900s. And a few mentions in the Butler County Times. Some are old birth announcements from then-owner Matthias Christensen. The only name that looks familiar is Patricia, the third of his 4 children, who was born in 1908. Front page article in 1944 stating that the Vice President of the United States had stopped there to visit on the factory floor. The company stopped being advertised around 1949. Around that time, there was a blurb stating Matthias was stepping down and attempting to sell the company. Daughter of local steel mogul Matthias of Christensen Steel. I mean, okay. Interesting. I'm not sure if the president angle I need to go down here. Alright. Revisiting the Diary Sam. Additional notes and context from the 1975 10-year anniversary release of Lauren's diary, companion piece to the entry about Sam. Clearly, I did not know our true family history when I wrote this. I didn't even know Sam was a Rootree. Although my doubts were ill-founded. She's a fine woman. Had she the chance to grow up with us, Sam might have been the sister figure Gwen never was. It feels a little weird for you to be like, oh, she's related to me. Oh, I didn't realize that she was great. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her, and her children seem eager to help the family in their own ways. Ernie Jr. has been learning the day-to-day from Zach. It has been a long, long time since any real Rootree was as excited and interested in the actual candy as Ernie. As a bonus, Gwyneth has the green thumb of her mother and her adopted grandfather. Gwyneth. Do you have any information about somebody named Gwyneth? I'm forgetting everything. Just let me double check here. Anybody here named Gwyneth? Oh, I thought I had that name. 1 second. Oh yeah, it's because we don't know which Elias he is. Okay, we don't know Gwyneth yet. Because we know you, but we know that there's another Gwyneth. Like if I just click here for a second. Yeah, Madsen. Okay. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her, and her children seem eager to help the family in many ways. Ernie Jr. and Gwyneth. Okay, are those their names then? Yes. Okay, so her spouse would be Ernest Madsen. Okay. And I don't know the order of them. So, Gen 3 here. Spouse is Ernest Madsen. Mother of Ernest Jr. and it was Gwyneth Madsen. Alright. So I was doing a quick check to be like, there are all of those people who got into Cars. Do I know where the cars are? I don't. Da-da-da-da. Okay. What I'm most ashamed of is not figuring it all out myself. Sam's a spitting image of Patsy with her jet black hair and green eyes. She doesn't have the thick glasses Patsy did, of course, but I guess that skips a generation. Her children have that covered. Okay. Making that a note here. Or I guess I can do here, next generation here, free spirits. Ernest Jr. Madsen, son of Samantha Roottree and Ernest Madsen. We don't know his job yet. Spouse is blank. Father of blank. Because we can see both of them have a spouse and a child. Wears glasses. And we're just gonna copy this, paste it in here, change this to Gwyneth, and then change that to daughter. Whoa, they're so different. Okay. It's hard to explain the look on Pop's face when they read that the farm's operations would pass to Samantha Roottree for as long as she was willing. I got flashbacks to when Zach was made president. Mother reframed it a bit to calm him down. Sam wouldn't receive any candy money, after all, and was essentially inheriting the right to rule over the peasants for eternity. That's fucked up. What was your mom's name? Sarah, come on. Pop warned us away from that farm for years. I never met EC in person, but Pop once referred to him as a confirmed bachelor. Gay! And I suspect that's why he kept us from there. That was a legit reaction. I was assuming. But I hadn't had any, I didn't have any reason to think it, but I was like, raised by EC and John, were you? When they were roommates? What's up? EC? More like easy to guess your sexuality. Sam had to grow up in a house with him and his roommate, Mr. Miller! I didn't even read that part. He did have a roommate. Oh my god, they were roommates. EC in a relationship with Mr. Miller. Possibly, John. I'm not sure Sam will ever forgive Uncle Junior or Patsy for abandoning her to that life. If I were her, I might never forgive them either. But even so, she seems to blame more than just the two of them. She has no problems with us next-gens, but she has a palpable hatred for the Five Pieces and Elias and Gwyneth. That's fair. Now I'm just like, maybe these will be EC and John. Okay, Clark. This is a page of additional notes and context, yes, about the entry about her son Clark. Reading this back, I get deja vu. As I write this addendum, Clark's gotten married again. No Roottree has ever remarried. Sure, I lost Jacob, and Gwen divorced Wild Bill just before she had her second. Not even I can blame her for that. I've seen what he gets up to in Starlet. But neither of us ever took a second husband. With the way the world is moving, I guess it was inevitable someone in this family would remarry. I just wish it wasn't my son. I can only wonder if Clark's apparent disrespect for marriage is due to the lack of a real father. I did what I could, And Lord knows Eli C. stepped up and helped. More than I can say for Clancy or Edward. Eli C. practically raised Clark and Jim as brothers whenever he could. Eli's marriage seems fine, and Jim's marriage seems solid as a rock, pun intended. So, who knows what causes these things? Okay. So, Eli is going to be Eli C. So this would be Eli M. Noted, noted. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da. And we can write that in our notes as well. Elias C. And over here, Elias M. Elias. Son of Clancy is C. Ba-ba-ba. Elias C. Advertising. Ba-ba-ba. Father of James Roottrees. Spouse is Joan Monroe. And over here to Elias M. We don't know his career. There we are. Spouse is Y. Father of Z. I suspect that he's marrying Jane to keep her from running out on the band. Well, yeah, I was like, is this one or this one? Boy, oh boy, it's that one. Got it. Without her, he'd be the third wheel. I imagine they wouldn't last long as a trio. But still, I don't think a marriage on such a shaky foundation like that can last. And Lord knows I was right last time. I mean, one second. Whoop. There we are. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. If I look at these guys, this guy is obviously the youngest of the four, right? I would guess that this guy is the oldest, but I'm not sure. Just because he has a mustache doesn't mean shit, but that Edward is clearly this youngest kid. Right? Now, we don't know what Edward's job is, nor his spouse. Edward is the one who got with a person of color here. That would be, yeah, next gen here. Oh, I have him on here twice. Whoops. Ba-ba-ba. Elias C. Roottrees. And Sarah Monroe. Sorry, not Monroe, Coswell. I started reading incorrectly. Cosell. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Clancy is on here. Okay, we don't have Edward on here. Edward Roottrees. Spouse is... father of Z, probably November. Ba-ba-ba. Person of color. His spouse of color. It feels crazy to just keep harping on this, but it is literally the only identifying factor I know. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Is this guy the older one? Okay. Yeah, I have those guys. I just don't know what her job is. There's part of me that wonders if I should just put her as housewife. Okay. Because she had mentioned, Lauren had mentioned people hadn't been actress, hadn't had jobs yet. Alright. I wasn't sure if she counted or not. Booyah! Wait, are you not Guy Hudson? What's happening here? Guy Hudson, 3rd president. Unless, do I have the kids backwards? Did they swap? Based, if so. Maybe if we use those. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Anyway, we have these guys confirmed now. We have Angelica and Zachariah here confirmed, as well as Samantha. We got you. Got a lot of these people confirmed, and I feel powerful from that. Almost halfway, because I believe there's 50 of them, yeah? And we're at 24. Okay. Oh, and that guy's a professor. That guy looks like he's gonna be a professor. Like, I would like more evidence, but it's like... I gotta... This guy, look at this dude. You know? Look at this guy. Okay. Look at this guy. Okay, I'm gonna leave him off. Actually, let me... No, I'm not. Okay. Over here... We have more notes. It is not a companion piece to any specific entry, but addresses feedback. The biggest complaint I get after publishing my diary is how many similar names there are. And I get it, there are 4 Elis for Pete's sake. But that's how it is. Someone would say, I saw Eli in town, and I wouldn't know which one they meant. My brother, my uncle, my cousin. Maybe that's why they became Uncle Junior, or Miracles Eli, or Eli C. Yeah. We have you, Miracles Eli, Eli C, obviously you. Our family's names have always been unusual. Grandpa Elias was a believer in using the names of each generation to honor those in the last. His father and Grandma Gwyneth were named Edward and Clancy, so now you see where my pop's name comes from. One thing that's always been consistent in our family, though, is that any time someone's a junior, they're always the firstborn son. That goes for Miracle, Eli, or even Clancy. With the women, however, it all goes out the window. I think Gwendolyn got her name from some combination of Gwyneth and Caroline, who was Elias's mother. Some women's names tend to get all mixed up because there's no... as the generations went on. I guess that's because there's no female equivalent of junior. Sorry, let me double check all of my junior shits. Like, do I have any more juniors remaining? Just Ernest Madsen. Do I have Ernest Madsen Sr. here? Okay. Well, Roottrees... Well, firstborn son either way. Okay, nothing there then. So if you're reading my diary and confused, you're not alone. Even the government had problems. I remember once seeing certified mail for an Edward Clancy Roottree. I had to break the news that got my father's name backwards. Alright, and then the final one here. Not a companion piece, but rather a fun bonus! I love a fun bonus! Apparently, this is the first thing she could find that she ever wrote. She knows it was for a school assignment about anger, and she believes based on the teacher's name she must have been in the 3rd grade. She doesn't exactly remember the events spelled out here, but she does remember getting in trouble. I got angry when I met a new girl who I did not like. She was dirty and did not have a pretty dress. Me and Pop walked home in town and she hugged him. When I told her he was my Pop, she pushed me. I got angry and yelled at her, and Pop said to treat her nice. Then she said, "Your Pop is my dad." She screamed it loud in my ear. She was lying to me, and lying is not a nice thing. So I pushed her too. Then I got in trouble. Then Pop took her away. He told me, "Don't worry, I am glad she is gone." What the fuck? What the fuck? What do you do? You got a bastard too? You got a bastard too, bud? Maybe not the candy company notes. I think that's a good miscellaneous note here. Hey, I was noting that. Okay, we'll highlight that. Boy, oh boy. Okay, I want to... There's a part of me that wants to look up confirmed bachelor in here. Damn! Unless bachelor is spelled with only one L. Yay! In the past, a confirmed bachelor was a man who never intended to marry a woman. Quite often, it was used as a derogatory term to imply that a man was gay. Yeah. I was curious if, like, they would have that in here, because it's like, maybe people don't know that term. I feel like it's a pretty common one, but then again, you know. You never know. You never know what people don't know. Alright. Look at all these guys. Okay. What I want to do is look up a bunch of names. I want to just look up every name I can. Okay, we've already read this, I believe. Okay. Gwyneth Anderson, we know, becomes here, Gwyneth Roottree. So if I look up her name... Yes, okay. Deborah Bean, we've not heard anything about. Laura Carlson? Stephanie Cattrall? Patricia Christensen. Christensen Steel was a steel company in Butler County. On a World War II history page, you find that it contributed to the war effort by creating parts for vehicles. But after that, it went out of business. Christensen Steel and Patricia Christensen are both mentioned in a book review for Steamy Correspondence by Tina Angelina. That we are going to have to look up. I do want to see here. The people who I have... No, I'll do that in, So, like, all of the... I'll just go through like that. Okay. That made sense in my mind. What I was thinking there was I wanted to get all of the names of, like, mostly women here who change their names to match their spouse. However, that seems like a bit too much work to add them to this list, when I can just go through my list here of the names that I already have, because I won't know who changed their name beforehand anyway. But anyway, that's Patricia there. Like, I gotta just check this. It feels like negligence if I don't. Lisa Garcia, Bonnie Hudson. Edith Jacobson. Find a partially corrupted list of archived articles from the Butler County Times. Okay, yes, we've looked this up before. That was, Miracle Jr.'s spouse. Patricia Jones. Bethany Kellogg. Oh, sorry, 2 G's. Stephanie Landon. Clara Lansing. We're gonna get a few hits here that I've already gotten, but just in case. Jane. Kim. Helen Lennon. Alright. Gwyneth Madsen. Nicole Madsen. Joan Monroe. Angelica Morden. Caroline Morden. Listed on a few art websites without much detail, seems to be associated with a movement called P-Flag. Okay. That's Caroline. Gwendolyn Morden. April Warich? I doubt anything come from the Rafferty LaRue's, but... And Katrina. Are you sure you didn't mean Roottrees? Fuck off. Mean to me, mean to me, mean to me. Okay. Gwen. Famous lady. We've read about her. Christina. Lauren. Obviously. Marguerite. November. Alright. Rhina. And Riley. Yes, yes. Samantha. Tessa. Nicole Smith. Penelope Tessa Green. Yes, yes, you were the comedian here. I'm really intrigued by how you, got in here. If I take Penelope Tessa Green here, if we go to the periodicals, if we go to Starlet... Okay, what if we try Teen Blast? Mentioned in a few articles about Brother Trouble. Show stars TMS and DCP played her sons on television. Yeah, they didn't really care about her character. That's fair. Brother Trouble. Let me double check that on here. Yeah, TMC was on this. Or TMS. Oh, I don't think I looked it up on here. TMS appeared on the cover of Teen Blast a record 38 times, including 3 months in a row during the height of Brother Trouble. In the issues he wasn't on the cover, he was still mentioned quite often. You read every word of every article, and besides the fact that he was married to Rhina, only one thing seems to be relevant. Gossip section from 96, about 8 months before their marriage, is called, "Is TMS dating a Roottrees?" It says, at a recent party signing, TMS told Teen Blast reporter that he met a girl at a party in Malibu. Apparently, the cast of Brother Trouble gets together at Penelope's house once a year, and this time TMS found love. A mega hottie had this to say. "She's incredible. She came to the party to meet me specifically, and I'm glad she did. She says she had a crush on me when she was younger. I told her I have a crush on her from her posters now." When our Teen Blast reporter asked who the lucky girl was, TMS refused to spill, but we did some digging. One of the creators of Brother Trouble, Ron, married Penelope, who played TMS's mom on the show, and get this, Ron is a distant relative of the Roottrees sisters. I had been assuming that Ron and Penelope had gotten together at some point, but I hadn't found any evidence aside from the fact that they worked on the same show. Okay. I'm going to assume that Ron is one of her kids. That this is going to be Penelope. And that we have this image of Penelope here. Yeah, Jack is one of the kids here. 97 and 94. So Jack is going to be the older one. And do we have a name for this kid? We don't. It's gonna be this kid here. And this one's gonna be the fucking absolute baby. This baby is listed among the women. This baby is a girl. Okay, and I'm assuming you're gonna be a student K-12. And that Ronald here would be a director. And that Ronald is going to be this one. We're gonna have it set as that. Even though we don't technically know that, I am going to put in miscellaneous here. That we have here. Ronald Roottrees. Director. Son of blank. Spouse is Penelope Tessa Green. Father of Jack Roottrees and somebody else. We'll have that there until we know exactly here. You know? Because theoretically could be... I don't think he could be anywhere else, but you know. Is that the correct one that I put in the... Let me double check here. Where's the image I'm looking for? This one here. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I had searched Brother Trouble on here. Because I wanted to confirm, yes, Ron Roottree. Okay. Back over to this. Last one we checked was Penelope Tessa Green. Brenda White. Yeah. I remembered it correctly. That's a fun way of spelling Catherine. Catherine Wilkins. Who's going to be the, person connected to, I assume, the person who was the, mechanic family marrying. Okay. Linus Cornwall. Walter Forsythe. Walter Forsythe is listed in the cast of a movie called Gal and the Gang, which is directed by Bruce Throckmorton. It appears to be a low-budget comedy, but there's no other information about it anywhere else online. Okay, let's look up Gal and the Gang. Okay, let's look up Bruce Throckmorton. Is he my cousin? I didn't mean to highlight him. Is he gonna skateboard? Prolific movie director who released a movie every year from the mid-60s till his death on set in 93. Most of his movies could be described as camp, especially those from the 70s, though you may notice some critics seem to take offense with that characterization. One of his signature flourishes was to include a silly message a minute or two after the movie's credits ended. Most of these have been cut from the home video releases of his titles, so fans of all of his work have been trying to track down film prints to catalog them all. As fascinating as this is, it doesn't seem related to the Roottrees. Always gotta check. Christopher Hudson. Guy Hudson. Probably gonna be a result here, maybe? Right, yes, the caviar. Brian Jones is a famous athlete who broke a pole vaulting record. Yeah, use a local resource. Got it. David Kellogg. The third. The fourth. Okay. Mark Landon. Ernest Madsen. Jr. James Morden. Zachariah. God, I'm great at that. God damn it. Interesting. Okay, Chris Rafferty. Clark Rafferty. Few fan sites for Jim and the Diamond. Yes. Jacob. We're gonna get some predictable results for looking up Carl Roottree, I would assume. Whoa, he died in a plane crash! Yeah, I don't remember if we got the statement yet. Let's see here. Press release here. It's with a heavy heart that we mourn the loss of Carl, Brenda, the Roottree sisters, and the other employees that perished in the terrible tragedy. The entire Roottree family is in shock and requesting privacy at this time. As the head of our company, Carl was an incredible man and an unmatched leader. Feeling his absence will be difficult and may take considerable time. In the interim, we hope that you join us in looking back fondly on Carl and his family triumphs and accomplishments. Okay. Clancy Edward Roottree. Yeah, we got that. Clancy Jr. mean, let me do it like this, which is how they do it, and it's weird. Elias C, Elias M, Jack, James, who we know as Jim, Miracle Root Tree. Yeah, we've read this guy. He's freaking me out. Da-da. Do we have anything about the third? Okay. Robert Rootree. Ronald. Ron. What about Rob? What about Bob? What about Bobby? What about good old Bobby Trees? Wolf? Wait, one of them was named Wolf? That fucking rules. I mean, we know this guy. Yeah, TMS. Jason Wilson. Steven Wilson. Aha! Dr. Steven Wilson is a pediatrician who practices north of Pittsburgh. Although there are a lot of Steven Wilsons and Dr. Wilsons, this one apparently found a way to game the search results as he pops to the top every time. His website claims that he is the pediatrician to the stars. The only evidence for this is he apparently was a doctor to the Roottrees sisters. There's a picture of him on his website, as well as a picture of his 3 children. The three of them look as though the photographer is holding them hostage. Regardless, the photos have been added to your evidence. There's also a quote that, although credited to his child Jason, you suspect might not be written by a 10-year-old. My dad is the best dad in the world, and he treats every patient with world-class care. He will treat your children like he would treat me, my big brother, or my sister. So, we know that that would be you, because we were looking for Wilson. We were finding out, we know that's Steven Wilson, then. Or no, it's not Steven. What was his name? Yes, it is Steven Wilson. And his child, Jacob, would be here. Sorry, Jason. So this would be Zach. Now, granted, his sister might be older than him. Well, we'll look at the image. Let's look at the image. Oh, yes, for sure his sister is older than him. It's like, for sure his sister is older than them. I don't need to worry about that. Dr. Steven Wilson's kids. The quote below was credited to Jason. Picture has a date on it. Seems like it was taken 2 years ago in 1996. Alright. Let's see here. Let's note these names down here. These guys will be Gen 5, yeah? Mm-hmm. Wilson. Zach Wilson. Son of Gwendolyn Morden and Steven Wilson. We'll copy that. We'll change this to daughter and put in Gem. Pop that back on in and type Jason. So here we can get this guy, this guy, this guy. I mean, Zach is obviously having graduated, but we'll put student college. Okay, that works. Who did I get? You got Ronald, Jack, and Zach. Hell yeah. Or sorry, booyah, as it were. We'll put you as a student high school, as well as you. Cool, cool. We can add these to Gwendolyn's page as well. Gwendolyn... Here we are. Spouse is Dr. Stephen Wilson. Mother of Zach, Jem, and Jason Wilson. What is up with Guy? He mentioned having daughters, so surely he's that one. I mean, what if we swap them? Let's try this real quick. Because we have those two and I'm confident on them. If I do this... Okay! I thought he mentioned having children! I was right the first time, then. When I said that, it was more likely that his sister would have had children since, you know, was alive for longer. Alright. Okay, we got that. We also have an image. This is Dr. Stephen Wilson, self-proclaimed pediatrician to the stars. That is scary. And then we can put this image of him as a kid on here. Okay. We've nearly got, like, this left section fully done here. That's fun. This is cool. I feel powerful. And I think that's a good feeling to leave it on. Which... I wouldn't have said that, honestly, if I hadn't glanced over and saw the time. But oh my god, I love this game so much. I think our notes are in a great spot. I'm gonna be able to continue this, knowing what the hell I'm doing. So thank you all so much for joining. I fucking love this game. It's great. And I'm having a grand old time. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love puzzle. I love puzzle. But until then, I do not know what I'm playing on Thursday. I'll figure that out. I'll let you all know. You guys will figure it out when I figure it out, I suppose. But yeah. Let's find somebody to raid. I'm sorry that I've been neglecting, like, planning out stuff in advance lately. I've been busy doing stupid stuffs. Let's see here. There's a lot of people that are live. Big if true. Big if true. Ba 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 ba. Let's see here, there are a lot of people and I'm looking around. Okay, no, that person is ending stream. Let's not do that 2 days in a row. Many people. And yet... Cult of the Lamb. How about we go for some Cult of the Lamb? I believe... Yeah, going by title, I'm guessing playing the DLC, their new one. With the cold stuff. You know, the cold stuff. Look, literally, I didn't know that there was gonna be a whole thing until after it came out, and suddenly people were just like on my dashboard on Tumblr talking like, oh my god, it's cold! And I'm like, okay, sure. Lee has been into it lately as well. Oh boy. I got to watch him play a little bit and I was like, ah, I'm understanding a bit better. I'm figuring it out. I'm learning what y'all are talking about. But yeah. Thank you guys for joining. I think that's about it for me. I'm gonna just go ahead and hit the button. I think you guys are gonna have a good time over there. And I will see you all on Thursday. Potentially even before Thursday on my YouTube channel. Who knows? Sometime within the next couple of days, a stupid video will be happening. You better believe it. Stupid effort I'm putting way too much effort into. Goodbye, everybody! Go raid, go!